You've probably seen this statue. It appeared alongside the Illuminate ruins in the new update, and it's been at the back of my mind ever since I first saw it. Compared to the more curved structure of the other Illuminate architecture, its angular and sharp design sticks out, like it's something completely alien and separate from the Illuminate. What is it? What is its purpose? That's what I aim to answer, and to answer that, I need to take a closer look. It appears as a towering figure, with its torso being some sort of skeletal spinal structure, and draped in what appears to be a cloak. Its head looks like a singular large horn with a single eye. In front of the statue, you can sometimes come across pedestals, which also sometimes have common samples on them. These appear to be offerings to the statue, and due to this, we can come to the conclusion that the statue has some sort of religious significance to them. With just the statue alone, that is all we can come to. But we don't have only the statue. I want you to take a closer look at it. Its head specifically. Doesn't it look familiar? The monolith. It appears on a free colony mission and serves a completely unknown purpose. It takes the shape of a large, monolith. Its base tapers inwards until it hits what looks like an orange circle, and then it flares out around it before tapering inwards, forming the rest of the monolith. This has the exact same shape as the statue's head. So, this and the statue are likely connected. Furthermore, you can find piles of dead Voltless around its base, and it is stated that it emits negative energy, which is related to gravity, wormholes, and a theoretical method of FTL travel called the Alcubierre drive, which is the same drive our super destroyers use. Given the religious nature of the statue and how this resembles its head, it is very likely that the Voltless were in fact sacrificed to it, and that may be why it emits negative energy. This leads me to a new conclusion regarding the statue. I think it's a statue of their god, and their god is real. This is admittedly a rather large leap, but just think about it. A large statue that looks nothing like anything the Illuminate have ever made before, with pedestals in front of it that have offerings on them, and its head is the same shape as the monolith, which has an unknown purpose, and the Illuminate sacrifice Voltless to it, which as a result makes it emit negative energy. Why else would it be like this unless they have a god, and their god is real? And besides, the Illuminate as a faction do have very heavy themes of cosmic horror, and the explanation for said cosmic horror just being that it's super advanced tech just isn't that satisfying. Going back to the monolith, there is writing that can be seen on the side of it. I don't know what it says, as translating it has just makes it come out as gibberish. It could be the name of their god or some sort of prayer or something else. I'm not sure. So we know that the Illuminate have a god. So what does it do? What has it given them? To answer that, I have to explain the relationship between dark fluid and dark energy. This is because they are actually real concepts in physics. To my knowledge, the best way I can explain this is that dark fluid is comprised of both negative mass and negative energy. And the way it works is that when there's a lot of matter present, it coagulates around it and attracts more dark fluid, increasing the strength of the gravity there. But when there's very little dark mass present, the dark fluid becomes a repulsive force like dark energy. I'm not really sure if it emits the dark energy or turns into it, but that's not really relevant. The point is that dark fluid can be turned to dark energy, and since negative energy is emitted by the monolith, their god is likely their source of dark fluid and dark energy, as well as how they are able to manipulate it. But that's not all it's done, though. When you compare the designs and technology of the Illuminate from Helldivers 1 to how they, look and work now, it's like a night and day difference. In Helldivers 1, their tech was all white, clean, sterile, like stereotypical high tech like sci-fi stuff. While in Helldivers 2, it's all organic, with their technology becoming biomechanical in nature. As you can see, a lot of their constructs bleed when they die. I'm actually pretty sure it's all of them, but yeah. And all of their stuff has this like weird bone-like texture to it. And a lot of their armor resembles stretched skin. It's the most present on the Stingray. I'll put an image up for it so you can take a look. And also, all of their units have blue glowing eyes, which they didn't have in Helldivers 1. And this could tell us more about their past too. This is because their new technology does somewhat resemble the ruins. So what I think this means is that they obviously used to worship this god, right? And I think that their technology used to be biomechanical, similar to how it is now. This is because in the Helldivers victory against the Illuminate screen, you can see gray ruins, the same color as a lot of their current tech and the obviously current ruins. Then at some point in their history, they stopped worshiping it and chose to focus on advancing their technology in a purely mechanical, non-biological way. Eventually, they got to the state that we see them in Helldivers 1 too. Then, once we beat them, they started worshiping their god again, probably out of some form of desperation or viewing their defeat in near extinction as a punishment for ceasing their worship. And now that they have their god's favor, they are out for revenge. And now, to finish off the video, what will its role in the story be in the future? Well, there's not really anything to go off of as of recording this besides these 3 voice lines.
Have you heard what they're saying? They say the Void's influence is too strong, that it's calling out to people, begging them to re-examine their belief systems. Yeah, I know. Sounds like a ghost story from Scout Camp. Do you think the Void is hungry? No, that's silly. If there were other forms of sentience out there, the Ministry of Truth would tell us.
It's murk. Reports of citizen disappearances have increased following the emergence of the Void. A troubling development.
So, 3 things. Citizen abductions have increased. The Void has been speaking to people trying to change their beliefs, and it's hungry, whatever that means. 2 of these are pretty easy to explain. The increased abductions is just the Illuminate creating more vote lists, which is probably so that they can sacrifice them to the monoliths to get more dark fluid to void more systems, since they use dark fluid to power the exospires. And the Void talking to people, assuming that this is literal and not just some form of propaganda, is likely their god attempting to get more people to worship it. The Void being hungry, though, that doesn't make sense. The vote lists that have attacked Rearger Bay over and over again came from there. So it definitely leads to the same place as the Meridian Singularity. But the Singularity hasn't ever been described as hungry, so did Arrowhead just contradict themselves or just retcon themselves somehow? Well, 2 things. First is that the attack arrow didn't really come from the Void. Rather, it came from where Cease used to be on the map. And secondly, the wording that Super Earth has been using regarding Cease has been very particular, with only saying that it vanished or disappeared, not that it was consumed or destroyed or anything like that. Don't get me wrong though, the Void and the Singularity are undoubtedly connected. My current theory is that the Void is whatever the Singularity leads to, but instead of it being a wormhole to there, it's pulled into our galaxy. Okay, so was the surface technician wrong when she said it was hungry? No. Based on how the voice line was delivered, it doesn't seem like she's really confident in her choice of that descriptor. So I don't think it's hungry per se, but rather something similar. It's probably a desire to expand, as the Illuminate are already trying to void nearby systems, you know, with Hort. So now that we've clarified that, what is the void? Well, like I said before, their god is talking through it, trying to get more people to worship it, so their god controls it. And it wants the void to expand. But why? Well, I think it's simple. We've never heard of their god before the exostorms, and now it's contacting people, trying to get them to worship it, you know, like I said before, and it wants the void to expand. And I think I know the reason why. It's never had a presence in our galaxy before because it doesn't live in it. It lives in wherever the singularity leads to, likely some other plane of existence, and now that that plane of existence is being pulled into our galaxy, their god can communicate with us, that is why it wants the void to expand. With each system consumed, the stronger its presence will likely be. And that is what the void is. It is the Illuminate's attempt to pull their god into our galaxy. And that's all I have for today. The Illuminate is the only faction that we really know nothing about, so I'm just glad Arrowhead is finally elaborating on them. I understand that going all the way from just fighting aliens and robots straight to like Eldritch Gods is a very big leap in the story, and a lot of people might not like it, but I personally do. I'm just glad that Airhead is giving us more lore in general, since I am somewhat of a lore nerd. There's also the possibility that the god is also connected to the Terminate somehow, since the energy made by E710 matches the properties of dark energy, and E711 is able to be synthesized into dark fluid because it was a denser, more concentrated version of E710. Anyways, if you like the video, please subscribe, leave a like, comment, share, all that stuff, and I'll see you later.